Oh no, I lost my recording. What's up, man? You don't know, y'all. What's up, Trudy? I'm doing well, man. Can't complain. What's up? gonna play some Tool for a little bit. I need to get a different pick.
Beating chest and drums, beating cymbals again. Ain't your battle line wiping out any rebellion?
This is Invincible. What's up, Bill? What's up? Please don't do that. Thank you, Mike. Let me think on that. Leonard Skinner? Any of them. Stevie Ray Vaughan. I'm trying to think who else. Yeah, I don't know. Choose one of them. I don't listen to any Tom Petty, but I appreciate it, Grant. This is Tool. Bro, I don't know what that is, homie. This is a guitar. Bill, look at this right hand. That's where all the magic is. This is Tool. Or any reggae. Depends on the mood I'm in. Or Southern Gospel. I love Southern Gospel. Any lo-fi? Sean? I'll do John B. next, sure, why not? This is Invincible at their latest album. I love gardening too after. Yo, do you have any specific questions where you're at? I mean, I can talk about guitar all day long, but if you got any specifics, that'll help me out too, to lead you in the right direction. No, dude, I love writing lo-fi. Primus. My name is Mud. I feel like I gotta play bass for that. Jimmy was a race car driver. That's probably my favorite Primus song. Alright, so it looks like left hand control or something. Yeah, I'm gonna give you some exercises when I'm done with this. Never heard of them. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, I agree with you. Sorry, I had to read that, Grant. All right. So to get to your question about you're trying to play stuff and you're getting a lot of like other noises on your guitar, really comes down to right hand control, man. I feel like a lot of people. What's your name, by the way, so I can address you by name? But a lot of people put too much focus on the left hand and they completely forget about the right hand. And I'll do John B, but let me just take a break from Tool and give some guitar wisdom. You know, when we get a new guy who's just getting into it, you found the right channel, man. You just ask me questions. I'll take the time and answer them. But yeah, man. The thing you need to realize though, like when you're brand new to guitar, is that call you Star. All right. Well, whenever you get into guitar, there's just so much to learn at once, and it can be a little overwhelming. But just take your time with it, man. Don't rush it. Don't feel like you have to play, you know, fill in your favorite guitar name right out the gate. There's a lot of things that you really need to start focusing on as a beginner. And I'm just gonna give you like some stuff to consider for right hand development. And right hand development being here, this is your rhythm hand. You know, you really got to start understanding. Well, if you're at the beginning, just get comfortable doing chords, man. So stuff like, you know, just doing simple stuff like that and learning how to change. And then if you're comfortable doing that, scales are a really good thing to practice. So like your major scale. My right hand, like, I've put a lot of time into my right hand, so my right hand looks really fluid and like it's easy, but just know that that is like the result of a ton of time doing this. You know what I mean? So, you know, one thing I would get into the habit of doing is alternate picking everything. So like a really good exercise is, you know, we're going to subdivide a beat. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. And all I'm doing here is down, up, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. You know, getting used to doing that is a great exercise. And then once you can do those, then the other thing I would add is triplet. So triplet is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or triplet. And the thing that makes that so difficult is the first time down you go 1, 2, 3. The downbeat is on the down stroke. But then you flip and then downbeat becomes on the upbeat. So you got to get used to doing that. See if you can hear the difference. You hear what I'm saying? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's going to alternate. And then like a really good exercise that I should probably do more often, but I really used to hammer out in the beginning is switching between those different rhythms. So doing something like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and triplet, 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and a 1. You know, and play with a metronome so it holds you accountable. There, I'm just kind of being sloppy because I'm trying to demonstrate quick. But that'll help you out a ton. And then taking that same approach to scales, right? So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you know? And then just changing it up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. And I'll show you, like if you go to Google, so I'm gonna go to google.com. If you type in metronome, there is a free online metronome. So look, I'm gonna put it at, I'll show you my exercise. So let's do, don't go this fast. Here, I'll go slow just to demonstrate. Some people who are watching this, you're experienced guitar players, this is gonna feel painful, but this is so Star here can get an idea of what I'm talking about. But, so every time it's clicking, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we can subdivide that. It's very mathematical, like music is math, man. So now we can go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that's subdividing in half, so eighth notes. Now we can take that division more. We can divide it by 3. So we can say 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3. That's your triplet, right? So now we can subdivide this by 4s. So when we do 4s, this is called 16th notes. The verbiage you're going to use is 1 eana, 2 eana, 3 eana, 4 eana. And then, you know, that's really where I would stick, but start off slow and then slowly over time build up your speed. Some good clean settings for an amp. I mean, I don't know what amp you have. Every amp is different, dog. Turn your gain down and then put everything at 5. Keep it flat. And then, like I'm playing through a Vox amp right now and a Princeton. But yeah, man. And then, you know, for guys that are watching that are maybe a little bit more further on that path, I'll give you something I've been doing a lot lately. So we're going to work on sweep picking, just to kind of give you like, okay, that was a beginner's approach. Thanks, man. The thing that I would work on if you've been working on guitar for a minute is arpeggios. So you may be familiar with the cage system. If you're not, look it up. It's a really good system for understanding the fretboard. But what we're going to do is we're going to take that C shape and we're going to use that for arpeggio. So what I like to do is I'm going to stay, this is called a diatonic arpeggio exercise. Diatonic just means we're going to stay in the key. So our tonic key, so I get out of practicing just C major, we're going to use D major. And you can, I chose that arbitrary, you can use, you know, C sharp minor, you can use E major, you can use any key you want, F sharp minor, A major, doesn't matter. I'm just going to use D major for this. But eventually you need to practice in all keys. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to let this go. We're going to do 8th note. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Get a feel for the tempo. Alright. Once I got a feel for it and I got control, now we're going to add in more chords. Here we go. Watch my right hand. Ah! The trick is the right hand. In this exercise, we're going to try to just go all the way down. That's what we're shooting for. And to stay smooth and relaxed in the pocket. And I'm trying to get rid of all tension. See? Keeping that really, really simple. We can even go something like this. Yeah, that's like an exercise for sweep picking. Best thing to do for getting better at switching chords? Good question. Go slow, man. So let me come up with a good example. Let's go, let me think. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Check out this chord progression and I'm gonna break down how I did it, okay? So. right, so those are kind of some complicated chords, right? You know, what I would recommend you do when you're learning how to switch from chords to chord to chord, and especially the more complicated the chords, is you need to practice moving slowly, and you need to think about ergonomics of movement. So what I mean by ergonomics of movement is we need to think about what is the best path that my hands can traverse to doing like the least amount of movement, if that makes sense. Like, these are complicated chords. This is a D9, 6-9, and I'm adding in the 7th. And then I'm doing a C sharp dominant with an F here. And then I'm going straight to an F sharp minor 9, right? Without getting into the theory of that, what I did to be able to work that out where I can do it fluently is I've gone slow. So I'm like, okay, if I know that those are the chords that I'm going to, right here, we'll choose something simpler. So let's just say I'm learning bluegrass on my acoustic guitar. And in bluegrass, the way that they fret things is different than the way that I learn. So like, for example, I've always learned how to do a G like this, but in bluegrass, I would do it like this, where this pointer finger's not doing anything. And the rule that bluegrass kind of associates is when we're playing in open position, every finger gets its own fret, all right? So for me, I had to relearn all these open chords with the new fingerings. So the way that I did it is I just went super slow, chord by chord, and really built confidence with it, you know? And what I would do, like when I used to teach, I would have students in my studio, and I would make them, before we did it on guitar, close their eyes and see where their hand has to go. Once your hand knows where it goes and you can see it in your mind, then just make your hand do it. Like, don't think about it, just do it, you know? And if you are struggling, then just go slow and really mindfully make the connection of like where you are and where each finger needs to go. So for example, this is just a G to a C, right? And I'm using this bluegrass fingering, which is just, you know, ring finger on the 3rd, middle finger on the 2nd, and then my pinky's on the 3rd. Next thing, I'm going to a C. So I know that this finger's got to come down, this finger's got to come down, this finger comes off, and this finger goes down. So if I'm doing that slowly over time, I'm going to instill muscle memory where I don't have to think about it. But the only way that I'm getting there is I'm taking the time to go slow and focus on where each finger has to move to. All right, so hopefully that helps, man. Heritage all day. All right, high, okay. I need to know, do we need to know all the notes on the guitar? It depends what your goals are on the guitar. If you're trying to be a professional musician, you should. You need to know all the notes on the guitar. But if your goals are just to play campfire songs or play in your church band on the acoustic guitar, no, you don't need to know all the notes, you know? It's not gonna hurt. It's like learning vocabulary, you know? The more vocabulary words you know, the better sentences you can write and better articulate your thoughts. But not everybody is trying to go to music school and, you know, really master this instrument. Some people are happy just doing stuff like... So I would just say it depends on what your goals are. If your goal is mastery, yeah, you need to take the time to learn. But let me give you some advice. Typically when, you know, I just helped a student get into music school, and when she first came to me, she was under the impression that to learn all the notes on the guitar, I had to learn, you know, 22 or 24 frets times 6 strings, which is a huge number. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. First of all, the first 2 strings, they're the same strings. So that's 5 times 22 or 24. But really, we only need to know up to the 12th fret, because after the 12th fret, it repeats. So now that's 5 times 12, right? That's a lot easier. Now, the other thing we need to know is that instead of learning each individual note or fret, I would recommend we pick a scale and we learn all the notes on that scale, and then we map that scale out on here. So the good thing about that is now we went from 5 or 6 times 22 or 24 to now 5 times 7, which is 35. 35 things is a lot easier to memorize than whatever 6 times. Alexa, what's 6 times 24?
6 times 24 is 144.
That's 144 things. You know, we don't need that. All we need is, you know, what did I say, 35? So 100 and So I might change less stuff. So hopefully that helps you out and gives you some motivation. But the thing that I would recommend, I push guitar players, like if you're going down this train of thought of like, I'm going to learn the fretboard, then that means you're probably interested in, studying music at a deeper level, which means I would really recommend that you study C major, because C major, we call it the college key. It's easy to learn stuff. Like if I tell you we're going to do a flat 6, then that's going to be an A flat, and it just makes learning theory a little bit easier. But you still have to learn all the scales. So don't think that you're just going to study C major and that's it. I would just say start with C major and learn, first things first, I would do string by string. Don't worry about position. So positional play would be something like this. The only problem about doing that is like, this is what makes guitar so difficult, because you've got C major here. 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 Here. And all of those on staff paper is the same exact scale. But as you can see, guitar is really, our tuning is what separates guitar from all other instruments. The way that we're tuned, it gives us positional playing. So what that means is that I am no longer confined that if I'm playing C, middle C, I'm no longer confined to just here. I've got it also here. And then I've got a bunch of different ways of playing the same note. All three of those are the same note. And that's what makes guitar so much more difficult than like piano or any other traditional instrument I've learned, because in piano, there's only one way to play a middle C. There's only one way to play C major, root position, middle C. On guitar, I've got... which is good once you get past like the hurdle, because it opens you up sonically to do a lot of things that other instruments can't do, like drop voicing. You can't do that voicing on piano comfortably. So, all right. No, I'm not playing Zach Bryan. I wore that song out when I used to play in a country band. Let me see. What are power chords? Yeah, man. And keep asking the guitar questions. I love talking about this stuff. So before I mention what power chords are, I mean, the simple thing is this. Right? But if you actually want to know what they are, first thing we need to know is scale degrees. So for example, you've got two different ways of thinking things. I'm going to use G major as an example. So in G, you've got G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. But another way you can think of it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, right? So a power chord is just a 1 and a 5 and a 1. Now, if you're not well versed in music theory, you need to trust me here. When we play a power chord on guitar, it doesn't tell you anything about the sonic character of the song. So if I play a G5, you don't know if I am in G major, G minor, G Dorian, G Locrian. You don't know where I'm at, because the only thing you know is that it's not a diminished fifth. A diminished fifth or diminished G chord would sound like this. And you also know it's not augmented. All you know is G5, because the third and the seventh tell a lot more about a chord than the fifth does. So I'll show you this, all right? So here's G minor, using just the fifth. Here's, we'll just go down the list. But if I play a third instead, we've got G major, we've got G minor, so your third and your seventh are gonna tell you a lot more than just your 1 and the 5. Yamaha Revstar or Heritage, I think you mean artist collection. I would go a Heritage all day. This is a Heritage. Greatest American guitar company, in my opinion. How can I make a solo that sounds good? How can I make a sentence sound good? Have a really good strong beginning, have really good phrasing, and making sure that you don't have any notes that are clashing with the underlying harmony, and understanding that you need a beginning point and an end point, and you need to tell a story in between. There you go. That's how you make a solo sound good. Dude, I mean, you know, that's so subjective. It depends what you're doing. You know, if I'm playing in a Christian rock band where you know the guitar player is just playing a couple of chords, I may not want to go. Likewise, if I'm playing in a math rock band, I may not want to do this for a solo. What's up, homie? We were just talking guitar stuff. What is shredding? Shredding is it's a lifestyle. I'm just kidding, man. What other questions you got? Can I shred on a guitar? I don't know. That's for y'all to decide. Yeah, I can play really fast and I can play it really clean. A lot of practice, man. A lot of practice, you know. None of this stuff happened overnight. That's the thing you need to realize is nothing happens overnight. Nothing. So just know that. And then being really articulate with your practice. And Mike, I am glad you got the Toolmaster Pro, man. It's great. I really enjoy it. I'm playing through it right now. So it's awesome. Glad you're enjoying it. Wish Fender would give me a kickback on all these dang Toolmaster Pros I've sold, but that's okay. Yeah, man, this is a Heritage. So this is an original Gibson. It's made in the original factory. What other questions we got? That's really good, man. Really good stuff. Oh, nice, dude. Yeah, that's what I'm playing through right now. What song was that? That was Tron, Perfect Pillow. I don't know. When someone asks me if I can shred, that's like the fun boy because it's got a lot of, I'm a technical player. I like to really play, like push my technique to where I can get it. The highest I can go. Some people, they just want to be really melodic or just play their favorite songs. I just really enjoy technique. I'm a nerd, I guess. But Mason, to give you some more feedback, I'm well versed, man. I've played a bunch of different genres, and in band settings, I've played in a bunch of different genres, and I think all of those things are those things have pushed me in the way of being fluent, where I just kind of have the guitar unlocked. I still have my limitations. I don't want you to think that I'm some Steve Vai, but for the most part, I can play whatever I want. But the way that I got here is just playing all different kinds of music. Don't be like when I hear someone say, "Oh, I'm a metal guy. I'm a metal guitar player, or I'm a country guitar player, or I'm a whatever." I'm a guitar player. I can play whatever I need to play. The real question is, what do you enjoy playing? And I love playing everything, man. I love the challenge that this instrument provides. So you'll see me do everything from like, oh, hold on, I got some muting going on. Let's get a good clean. Everything from that to you just got to play it all and just have fun. That's the most important thing. If you have fun playing this instrument, you're gonna get better and you're gonna get quote unquote good. And you just got to realize that it takes time. And no, my hair's fake, man. It is real, baby. I ain't gonna buy no wig. Oh, let's see. I haven't played this guitar in a while. What are some of your favorite metal bands? To learning them all? How's your theory? What's in the triad of E flat major? How do you make a triad, Mike? I mean, a harmonic, sure. Learn it all, man. Yeah, and I was just kind of picking on you, really. But what I would do, I would write it out by hand and then map it out. So I would try to stick to diatonic and this is just me as a teacher. You need to do whatever is best for you, and only you know the answer to this, Mike. But if you're trying to get the most bang for your buck, I would just study one scale and study everything in that scale. I'm gonna keep going back to C major because that's the easy scale. That's the easiest to explain, but it works for E, C sharp, G, any scale. But what you need to do is understand that, okay, if it's 1, 3, 5, all right, so if I'm in C, and if C is 1, my 3 would be E, and then G, so C, E, G. Then you can see all the different places you know that. And I learn them in different variations. Let me think, I'm in drop, so. and learn them in different places on the fretboard. And then do the same thing with, let's go up to D. So now we're going to do a Dorian flavor, all right? So if I am in the key of C major, so C is just C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. So I go D, all right, so D is 1. 3 has to go D, E, F, F, A, G. So D, I'm sorry, A, so D, F, A. Thanks, homie. Okay, where else do I know that? You know, and just learning where that is on the fretboard and mapping that stuff out. It's... You know, I'm just playing at different positions. But that's what I would do, and I would just keep doing that same exercise up and down the fretboard, or up and down the scale. So next would be E. Okay, E, skipping F, G, skipping A, B. So E, G, B. Okay, I'm in drop tuning, so that would be what? You know, and just working your way through the scale, and don't rush it. Don't try to cram too much in a little, you know, in a short amount of time. I would do this technique called chunking. So let's just say for day 1, if this is new to you, just do C and D, all right? And then tomorrow do E and F, you know, and then the next day do C through F. And then, you know, the next day do G and A. And then see if you can do all of it together that way. If not, separate that chunk and slowly add to those chunks. But that is like the fastest way to mastery in the long run, and like the most efficient use of your time, in my opinion. So hopefully that helps, man. All right, let me pull up some backing tracks. That's a good question. Let me answer that real quick, and then we'll do some stuff. And then I'll take a request if anybody's got a song you want to hear, or a song you're struggling with. Let me know, and I'll pull it up. I'll sight read it. Once I get it figured out, I'll teach it to you, and probably point out the pitfalls. What's up, Owen? So if someone says they want to play blues in E, does that mean we're only going to be playing the E pentatonic scale? No, if you play the E pentatonic scale while we're playing a blues in E, you're going to be out of key. So if I say, hey, we're going to do a blues in E typically means we're going to do a 1-4-5. So that means the chord progression is going to be E, A, and then like a B dominant. So that would be something like... So you need to kind of keep track of a couple of things, you know. If you were, if we're playing in E, you know, all right, the first chord is E. So when we're playing over E, you could think C sharp minor or E major pentatonic. I'd probably do E major. When we go to the A, now you need to think about, okay, what am I going to play over A major? So in A, you've got obviously A major pentatonic. You've also got F sharp minor. Then when we go to the B, it's the same thing. Here, you can do G sharp minor. You can also do it up here. So it just, there's a lot more to think, if that makes sense. But to think about, but if you just want to keep it simple, if we're in E, you can just play in here. C sharp minor. Because everything you need is going to be to the right or to the left of that. So I would think C sharp minor is home. And also, to just clear up some questions real quick, higher efficiency. If someone says we're going to play blues in E, but you don't really know which pentatonic scale, here's what you do is you put your pinky on the root note. And you go, if you take your finger and come down, wherever that pointer finger lines up, that's a relative minor. And the only thing different between C sharp minor and E major pentatonic is where do you start and where do you end and what do you put emphasis on. If I do this, you know, that's a little bit more C sharp minor. But if I want to let you know I'm in E major, I could do something like. I don't know, I'm just messing around with it. And you also got arpeggios you can do with that. And then you can combine those with arpeggios, like. You know, hopefully that helps you out a little bit. There's just so much to, there's so much to that, it's hard for me to be like, yes, you only do one thing. Here it is. You know what I mean? Because that's learning how to solo is, you gotta learn how to sing, man. You really do. All right, let me see. Yeah, man, of course. And just like anything, like here, let me just pull up a random backing track. All right, let's do backing track, and then I'll do the key of E. This is rock pop backing track. This is literally something random that I pulled up on the internet. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna hear it, hear where it's going, hear the chord progression. All right, so let's see. So, a couple of things there, like, I know that sounds really melodic, that's just me as a player, but the things that I'm thinking about is, like, I'm not doing a bunch of crazy jumps. Anytime you hear, like, when I'm working with someone and they're learning how to solo, if I hear this, I know you don't know what you're doing, so something like this. Tell me what's wrong with that approach. Or even this. You know, those two things, what I'm getting at is, what's up, homie? I'm doing well. Just taking some time to explain some guitar stuff. But the thing is that, like, I've kind of got rules for myself that I developed. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. But I've kind of got rules for myself. One thing is that if I am going to play a solo, you know, and this is the key of E, the key you asked for, I am going to try to avoid the top 3 strings, especially the top 2. I could probably get away with the bottom 4 strings. But the reason for that is we need to think like a vocalist. All right. So this kind of gets into the guy who asked, how do I solo better? All right, so this is a personal thing. Every guitar player is different. You're talking to someone who appreciates melodic soloing, you know, and I'll do some flashy stuff, but for the most part, I want to be melody driven, because if you can play melodically, you can get people involved, and then it becomes more about the song than it does the player. And in every track that I'm on, I'm trying to play to the song, not to my ego. You know, because my ego's like, oh yeah, dude, I'm Van Halen, you know? But if I did that in the concept of this song, you know, listen to this. Here. You know, I don't know. I just prefer melody over just like straight whatever, man. I don't know about that, homie. I'm just passionate. So like what I would do is, yeah, there's so many different things you can do, man. Play the wrong notes, experiment. You know, the only reason why I can do that, you know, for you, Tyler, the only reason I can do this is because I've played more of the wrong, horrible stuff, even when I was playing out live. Played the wrong stuff for so long that eventually I figured out how to play things that I enjoy. Yeah, but Damien, first of all, sick name. The other thing is that, like, I've got fretboard knowledge, so it's filling with logic, if that makes sense. It's like I know enough of the guitar that I can just, like, think emotionally, but still logically understand where I'm going, you know? So it's not like I'm just blindly... You know, I know that I'm in the key of E, so that tells me that I can use probably like a D sharp to drive something home. You know, but I probably want to try to stay away from F sharp until we land on that F sharp minor. It's like I know my fretboard, so I know my way around the quote unquote, and I know what notes are going to be the good notes because this chord progression is pretty simple. You know, I guess we can kind of use that as another point too, is once you know where something is like this, now we can add in a little bit more complexity. We can do... Let's actually take this in a different direction. Let's do, we're just gonna do some auxiliary work. So another E, so. Yeah, it's also like, this just reminds me of country. A lot of country is this stuff right here. But anyways, hopefully that helps, man. For sure, homie. Just you do a great job breaking things down in an easy to understand way, man, while leaving your ego at the door. Absolutely, homie. Well, I appreciate you. All right, well, hey, I'm gonna get off here, and my son just got some shots in his legs today, and I've been hearing him pipe up and down in the background while my wife has been patient so I can play guitar for the last hour. So I'm gonna jump off here, go relieve her, and see if she needs anything. And anyways, man, y'all, thanks so much for hanging out. I love teaching, so please feel free to keep asking questions. Lately, I probably need to get better at filming videos, but it's like if I've got an hour of downtime, then I'd much rather just live stream and play guitar than like do a video and edit and everything else. So once the dust settles of having Nathan in the house, I'll try to get some more videos out. So with that in mind, I've already got a lot published. I've got a whole playlist dedicated to music theory if you want to jump into that. And then obviously I've got a ton of Tone Master Pro stuff where I kind of go over music theory for guitar tone, if that makes sense, like explaining tone. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to leave a comment on there, and make sure you subscribe and do all the YouTube stuff so when I do go live, you can ask me these questions. Because honestly, like for you guys who are asking all these questions, good on you. This is how you learn, man. Jump on people's live streams and ask them, hey, how do I do what you're doing? And find your tribe of mentors, you know, because that's how I am where I am. That's why I'll always take the time to explain this stuff, because I know what it's like trying to study this thing and master it. There's so much to learn. It'll take a lifetime. My just like last piece of advice before I get going is don't rush it. Don't rush it. so many guitar players, it's like they've never played guitar in their life, but that they want to be Kirk Hammett or Dave Mustaine, or, you know, throw in your favorite quote unquote shredder. And it's like, all right, I understand that's where you want to be. That's like so far down the road. Don't keep that as like, I either do that or I am, you know, not worthy of playing the instrument, because you'll burn out. You will. So with that, hey homies, have a good one. Hope everybody has a blessed day. Hope you all enjoy your day and go pick up your guitar and practice. And I'll see you later. Ciao.